Hello, friends, and welcome to the Honeycast. Today I'm talking about two different things. I wanted to kind of put these things together, put these two together so that you can have a picture of what is going on with my restoration time and what I'm doing in my tribe membership right now that you might want to do as well. The first thing I want to talk about is my restoration journey. If you haven't listened to my previous podcast about restoring, I'd love to point you back to that. I'll have that in the show notes. But a while back in December, I ended up having a root canal that was reworked. I had to take the tooth out. They had to clean out the root canal. There was an abscess, there was bacteria, and I ended up getting an implant that took my system way, way, way down. I was on antibiotics for over a month, came into contact with COVID and a parasite, and fast forward, not feeling any better after having all that procedure or all those procedures done. And by January 1st, I was just hitting a wall. So I started a restoration protocol, or I'm not even going to say it was a detox, although I have been doing a detox. It's mainly that I've just been in restoration mode and doing all the things that my body needs. So in some seasons, we're focusing on getting more steps, getting more movement. Maybe taking Epsom salt baths at night, maybe having a rest each day. But in this season for me, I decided that I'm going to throw the kitchen sink at whatever is going on in my body. And so since the beginning of the year, I have been very regularly doing all of these things to help support my body. And what I've been doing is I have a grounding pad that I'm using every day when I'm working, standing, or sitting. I put my bare feet on this grounding pad. Grounding pads are really good to help reduce inflammation. And it's just like taking a walk outside barefooted, where your feet are in contact with the dirt and you get the ions from the earth. Very healing and very restorative. The other thing I've been doing is having a rest each day, whether it's an actual nap or lay down for 20 minutes and read, but just for some downtime, just to let my body completely rest. Another thing I've been doing is meditation and or something called tapping, and that is helpful for my nervous system. And also it's just one of those breaks in the day where I am being intentional about sewing into my physical body and mentally, and even working on my nervous system, really trying to give myself as much help as I can to restore. The other thing that's been a little tricky for me, and I've been getting in bed by 9 o'clock each night, is getting a good night's sleep. This has been so tricky since menopause. I have studied tons on sleep. I teach a lot on this. I help a lot of my clients with their sleep. I do all the things that I tell my clients to do. And a lot of times, and most of the time, it does work for them. But for whatever reason, I have not been able to sleep. And like I said, I'm working with my practitioner. We are working on it. We've tried a lot of different things and we don't really know what the cause is. And so getting sleep is super, super important for restoration. And so as much as I can, I am getting in bed at the same time each night. I'm making sure that there's no blue lights 2 hours before bed. I'm making sure that I am not eating right before bed because that can disrupt your digestion in the middle of the night. Waking up at the same time every morning and looking at light. Those are just some of the things that I'm doing. I've tried sleep aids. So far, none of them have worked very well for me, but I'm just being intentional about getting that sleep because that's when we get our restoration. That's actually when we produce our human growth hormone, and it really helps with lowering cortisol levels and really all the things restoration. And the last thing that I'll say that I've been working on is deep breathing. And this is a practice that I've been putting in my day. First thing in the morning, I do 10 deep breaths. On the 10th one, I hold it as long as I can, and then I repeat that twice, and I'm doing that twice a day. Lastly, I'll say that I've really enjoyed my infrared sauna. I did splurge and get that for myself last year when I knew that I was going to be going through the dental procedure and needing to detox. Plus, I was detoxing from mold. We found mold in my house. So there's just been a lot of physical things going on, not to mention being in the middle of menopause, losing my hormones, and trying to contend for muscle and all the things. So this restoration time, I will say, I've really had to focus on it. I have really had to set timers and be intentional and say no to things and say yes to me. But I will say that first of all, I've learned a lot through this time. At first, I felt worse and I wanted to quit. I was like, why am I doing this if I just am feeling worse? But what I realized was that with that dental procedure and then with some of the supplements that my practitioner had me on, I was actually still detoxifying. And I wasn't using a binder. And a binder is something that you take kind of like charcoal or something like that, that helps really pull out the toxins and get them out of your body. So fast forward, a couple other things the doctor and I have been working with, I implemented, and then finally started to have a little light at the end of the tunnel. I wasn't just feeling completely hit a wall. I have not done weight training and I'm chomping at the bit to get there. I'm almost ready for that, but I've really had to listen to my body. So instead of doing heavy lifting, which I'm so ready for, I have been using my vibration plate. And I want to tell you, I love my vibration plate. My whole body vibration plate has really allowed me to keep moving safely without getting overtaxed and also keep my muscle. And I haven't been able to do that without the essentials. I'm going to say the amino acids have been a game changer, and they are very important for restoration and for detoxification and for building and keeping lean muscle mass. Even though I haven't built any muscle, I have not lost any muscle. And that is amazing because as soon, especially in midlife, as we stop moving, stop lifting and our hormones are out the door, we start losing muscle mass. And so by using the vibration plate and working out on that 3 to 5 times a week, and using the essentials. I'm using the essentials twice a day. That has just served me really well to get that into my daily routine. I have to say, I am having times where I have more energy. My body is aching less, although it's still in the process. And I'm going to continue on my restoration journey, but I have been able to add back in a couple of things like playing pickleball, been able to add a couple times a week of pickleball. And I've just been able to have a little bit more endurance than I have before, but I'm still very much working on this and listening to my body and what it needs. And so the next piece of this that I want to bring in is detoxification. And so there's different levels and layers of detox. And I'm not talking about a heavy metal detox here. I'm not talking about a parasite cleanse or anything like that. But what I'm talking about is just supporting your body and your liver so that your liver can do what it's supposed to do. And I'm going to bring you 9 practical things that you can utilize to support your liver. It is very important, not only for detoxification, but especially in midlife when hormones are out the door, our liver can get very sluggish and we can start storing toxins in our body, and we actually store them in our fat. It can also keep us from losing weight. If our liver is overburdened and is working too hard, our body will not release fat, will not release weight. And so this month in my tribe membership, I'm doing a gentle trim healthy cleanse. I'm not doing anything crazy like a juice fast and things like that. Don't think that's the best way to do it. I'm just utilizing real whole foods and herbs and spices and teas and different practices to help love on my liver. And so I'm going to give you 9 things that you can probably have in your refrigerator or in your cabinet that you can start putting into your diet on a daily basis to help with your detoxification. And I will say this, the 3 main things you need to be doing is you need to be peeing, pooping, and sweating. If you want to detoxify, those are the 3 things that you want to make sure are happening. These things right here can help you with that. So these are mainly foods. Fatty fish is going to help fight inflammation, and it's going to help with liver enzymes. That's going to be salmon, mackerel, and sardines. Oatmeal Oatmeal lovers out there, oatmeal is good for your liver. It helps support your liver. It's high in fiber. Fiber is important for detoxification and for gut microbiome, and it also reduces inflammation. Non-starchy veggies, the two queen leaf veggies here would be broccoli and spinach, and they are going to help reduce inflammation and they are going to support the liver really well. Nuts, especially almonds, which are high in vitamin E, they also are going to provide those antioxidants and, again, reduce inflammation. Berries. Berries contain polyphenols, which also help our body detoxify and protects our liver. Berries also naturally raise GLP-1. Grapefruit and citrus fruits, they neutralize toxic substances and also support detoxification and reduce inflammation. Dandelion tea or greens, same thing, going to really support that liver. Here are some spices and herbs to use that promote detoxification and can pull out heavy metals. And that would be cilantro, oregano, rosemary, turmeric, cinnamon, and garlic. Coffee, believe it or not, coffee is helpful in detoxification of the liver and fat buildup in the liver. Now, when we're talking about elimination, you want to make sure that you're getting enough fiber, and all these things contain fiber. You also want to make sure that you're hydrating. Water is essential. So making sure you get at least half your body weight in ounces, your healthy body weight in ounces, and then sweating. What do you need to do? You need to get moving. You want to sweat. You want to, if you have an infrared sauna, but you want to get that heart rate up and you want to sweat. Sweat is good. All of these things can help support your liver. And for me in my journey of restoration, I'm so looking forward to this month of April because every day we have a focus food, or actually every week I have a focus food that I'm using to help with detoxification, along with some of the other practical things like dry brushing, which is helpful for my lymphatic system. And if you have a rebounder or a vibration plate, same thing. Epsom salt baths. Magnesium is beautiful to help support detoxification. So in bringing you this information about my journey, I'm hoping that those of you that are in a similar season of life, that you are encouraged, that you don't just throw everything out because you're feeling terrible, or maybe you're just so low energy. It was hard for me. It was hard for me to move. It was hard for me to create some space for myself. But as I did, and I want to encourage you the same, even just taking time for deep breathing twice a day. Maybe it's going for a walk 2 or 3 times a day for 10 minutes. Maybe it's taking a hot bath each night or spending some time journaling. But I want to encourage you guys to listen to your body. It's always talking to you, and to invest in yourself because you are worth it.